Hey, I'm Lexie from LexieNaturals.com, and today I'm posting at thehumbledhomemaker.com, and we are going to be making felted soap. And this is a really fun project to do with your kids. I did it with my own girls a few days ago. When you felt soap, you wrap wool around the soap, and you can use this in place of a washcloth or a loofah, and it keeps your soap lasting longer, and it's just a fun project to do. So we will need a rather large bowl for hot water, a towel to put under it, some soap, and I like to use my homemade soap, but you can use any bar of soap. You'll need some wool roving that you can buy online, or you can get at just a local craft store. And then you'll also need some sort of netting or nylon hose would work just fine too. And you may find that you need a little bit of liquid soap, and I prefer using Castile soap, but you can use Dawn or whatever else that you have too. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is wrap our soap in wool roving, and you do want to try to keep it as tight as possible. Get all the corners, try to cover the entire bar. It's okay if it's a little lumpy, but it will look a little better if you keep it as even as possible. Okay, at this point you can also add some colored pieces, and if you know how to needle felt, you can also felt designs at this point too. Then you want to take your nylon piece and wrap your soap all the way. Get it nice and tight. This is what's going to hold your wool together until you get it felted. Okay, I have now filled up a bowl of really hot water, just as hot as you can stand it. If you're doing this with children, of course, you would rather use more warm water, but you do want it to be as warm as possible. We're going to take our soap and just gently set it in the water and let the water soak up around the soap. Once our soap is wet, we want to be very gentle with it, and we just want to cradle it, move it from hand to hand. Okay, once you feel, I'm going to unwrap this so you can see. You don't need to unwrap yours, but once you see how it started to shrink some, and that means it's sort of staying on by itself a little bit. So once that happens, you can actually begin to start wet felting your wool. So you will rub it and make sure that you get all the sides, and you'll notice that some bubbles will start to form, and that will help you. If you don't have bubbles forming right away, that's when you can get your liquid soap and just put a drop on it, and that will sort of help you. Make sure you get all the sides and keep rubbing and dipping. Okay, I'm going to check now to see how it looks. Our end goal is we want all of the pieces to be stuck. See how I can pull this off? So that's not quite finished yet. So we've continued to dip it in the hot water and rub it, and we are going to run it under some cold water so that we can check it, and it sort of shocks it going from cold to hot. And it looks like it's pretty close. I'm going to do it just a little bit more just to keep kind of shocking it from hot to cold, and that will help it sit. Okay, so the final rinse, and we can sort of squeeze it and feel that it's tight around the soap. And then we just set it aside to dry. And what I do is I put towel down and then a cooling rack and then wrap it over. And it sometimes will take a few days to dry, and sticking it in the sun will help it dry, and then you can use it. And it will continue to shrink. The bar of soap, the wool will shrink onto the bar of soap as you continue to use it. And when you're finished, you can just use the wool as a washcloth, or you can cut a slit in it and add another piece of soap to it and continue to use it that way. And I know it seems like we've wasted a lot of soap, but actually we haven't. I did a test where I weighed the soap and the wool before I felted it, and it weighed the exact same afterwards. So we're not losing a significant amount of soap. It's just that the felting helps keep your soap lasting longer. And you can now take this water that you've used and wash dishes with it, or throw it in your bath water. Thanks so much for watching.